Hey, hey, Blue Table fans! Sean here, wearing my blue shirt. Pow! So listen up. I have been running Pathfinder, which I viewed as the heir apparent of the spirit of Dungeons & Dragons. And I meant every single word of it. When I saw D&D 4th edition come out, around 2007. I bought all the books, started playing it, seemed really neat. Some of the adventures were a little, I don't know, two-dimensional, but awesome, great. And I tend to just love everything, so, you know, there's that. And then I loved Pathfinder so much that when D&D 5th edition came out, I sort of glossed over it, you know. I just sort of So I saw the, and actually it was this sort of weird bloodstain thing seemed an unappealing bit of graphic arts. And they seemed kind of, you know, simplified. And the game is simplified in many ways. Now, just case in point, check out the production value on the Games Workshop Age of Sigmar books. Isn't that slick? I mean, just so nice. And I love seeing this on my bookshelf. I mean, it's really slick. So, you know, it's kind of weird because I like things kind of based on these aesthetics, you know? Like when I'm grocery shopping, I look for the best packaging and in it goes. All right. So I used to joke that's how I married my first wife. Yeah, same idea. Pow! So guys, I'm running D&D 5th edition. I've run one session. I love it to pieces. What a great setting. Well, it's the old setting, but just they did such a great job. And I'm about to tell you why. So first off, the production value of the books is really, really good. And there's definitely a feel to them. First off, in the monster manual, you get like all the old classics. And the art has a feel to it. The feeling of the art is consistent through the entire thing. It's extremely handsome. And like the titles on things look like they're handwritten on parchment. And just the whole feel, the feel of the pages, it's just, I'm loving every second of it. And now in terms of the system, what I like about it is that the numbers are really tame. So for example, in Pathfinder, and again, I'm not knocking Pathfinder. Pathfinder is its own thing. I have loads of Pathfinder books. They have great value. They've been produced like really with next level elements all around. However, the progression on rolls and stuff usually is like, it goes up 1 per level. So you end up adding a lot to the dice rolls. And in D&D, they smooth that curve out a little bit. Like, it starts where you do get some relatively mid-range bonuses to things, but it doesn't go up to these insane levels. And, like, for example, if I started a party out in Pathfinder, their armor class might be clocking around 18 to 20. And within maybe 3 or 5 levels, the armor classes, I mean, they get insane. Like one guy might have armor class 19, another guy has armor class 29. And in terms of, you know, rolling a d20 and adding that thing and, you know, trying to hit that number, it's huge. I mean, the differentials are enormous. But when I was running the game with my first level party members, their armor class was like, because it starts at 10 is the base. It starts at, you get like, you know, 13, 14, that was it. It was 13, 13, 13, 14. So the guy with the heavy armor had like 1 point higher. And I was just like, that's great. That just, sort of, the whole feel of it was just so much fun. And by the way, I'm not done going off about my impressions and stuff. One mechanic they have is advantage and disadvantage, which is, so for example, spell resistance or magic resistance. It used to be a pretty complicated system. Back in like 2nd edition it was, you know, I can't remember how it was, but it was like a percentage. So, you know, if the magic user was this level, then the percentage would go down 5 per level, and it was like, it was insane. You had to like really look stuff up. But now it's just, if, you know, they just get advantage on saving throws versus spells. Great. Advantage means you throw 2d20, take the highest. Disadvantage means you throw 2d20 and you take the lowest of them. Excuse me. And thusly, let's see, what else really impressed me about it? It's very much a storytelling game. So I found out that they've put out, I think, maybe 8 adventures, and some of them go from levels 1 to 8. So you buy this, and then they start out at first, they end up at 8th level at the end. So, and then other ones go from 1 to 15. And in fact, most of them go from 1 to 15, as far as I can tell. And so, Hoard of the Dragon Queen, this is the first adventure path that they came out with. And they sort of are like the equivalent of the Pathfinder adventure paths, which I've shown you before, that go from level 1 to 18. But they do cost less. The Pathfinder adventure paths are $25 each, so it's $150 for the whole thing. And the D&D ones are $50, so a third. But in terms of page count, they don't have the same page count. But the page count of the actual adventure is probably right about the same. Not sure on that. Do you want to, if I'm saying anything, you want to add anything? Great. Oh, my son Jonah is here. He's getting his workspace organized. It's pretty awesome. He picked up some Adeptus Custodes. Those models are insane. Oh my gosh, they're huge. Like, those guys seriously would be like 12 feet tall in the fantasy world. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. He's like petting a space, even a Primaris Marine. They're like, hey, Junior, you know, hey, Shorty. Crazy, crazy stuff. So anyway, I picked up Hoard of the Dragon Queen, and so online, it's like, apparently this got a lot of criticism. And I think people just didn't, they just didn't understand what D&D was about originally. I mean, you would get a module and it would give you like a paragraph, and then you would just wing it. And it would even say that. It would be like, if you wish further adventures, if they go down this corridor to the deeper part of the Underdark, you'll just have to make something up. That was it. And so I love this. I've read through it. Oh man, I'm just like swimming around in this awesomeness, just loving every last second of it. I'm running the game basically with my kids, and and of course with miniatures and stuff. You can look me up on Facebook. I have stills and I keep up on this stuff. And so anyway, yeah, this goes from level 1 through 7. And it is just, it's so thick. It's just thick. Look at this. Just like the text, so much text. And like they don't, like almost every page is, even pages with like a picture, it's just so thick with ideas, character development. I mean, it really is, it draws it from, it draws it back to its storytelling roots, and, or ruts. Apologies to my Oregonian friends. All right, so anyways, I mean, it's so great. I mean, it's like the Pathfinder Adventures is more like playing Hero Quest almost. Like it's very, like there's squares and it's very tactical, and the stats for the creatures are like written into it. And with this, the stats are in the back, and there's not that many of them. And yeah, just a couple pages. And then other than that, everything else is just storytelling. I mean, it's really just, and the maps, I won't show you the maps because I don't want to spoil it, but the maps are just, they're just absolutely, they're exquisite. And quite frankly, I can't get enough. I'm loving 5th edition. I'm switching over my Ultimate D&D thing to this system. I'm doing this. And, well, that's all I had to say about that. Just a quick note about Valhalla in October. As it stands now, I'm still going to come out, set up my Ultimate D&D thing. But I'm going to... I'm going to make like a shorter adventure. I thought I'd get like one group of people, but no one wants to spend their whole Valhalla doing my thing. So I'm going to shorten it to basically a session. I can just run a group through it, and I'll run mini groups through the exact same thing. But I am going to expand it. I'm going to make more caverns, more miniatures. Obviously, since then, I've painted like a ton of new things for it. It's really exciting. I also will do a private Ultimate D&D with you. It can be between 3 days and 6 days. You just contact me and I can whip up the details, because there's so many different ways that it could be done. It can be done very economically, or it can be done to more of a Valhalla standard and, you know, get a place up in Sundance and really go for it. All right, the video's about to split. I don't want that. So thanks for tuning in to my first impressions of 5th edition.